Okay, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Nicole Fuller, and this is Gayle Rose, and together we'll get a chance to share with you breathwork for release. So, eyes on me, please. I'm going to share my screen. Will you let me know if you can see this?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, part of our goal here today is to help you begin to add more mindfulness into your life through breath with different techniques for breath for release. And we're going to start today by truly grounding in the breath. So do me a favor, begin to close your eyes, begin to find a comfortable seat. You might be seated, let your feet come down to the ground, allow your shoulders to fall away from your ears, and allow your chin to lift a little bit to encourage just a bigger opening and release. And we'll take a big breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale out of your mouth. Just like that, full breath in. Let the air out. And as we start to draw our awareness towards our breath, it starts to change right away. So can you invite in your breath to be slower? Can you let it find your own natural rhythm and pace? And we'll start to add in new senses to help us fully land in our body. So as your eyes are closed, begin to notice the colors behind your eyelids. Notice any shapes. Perhaps begin to layer in your awareness of sound. The loudest sound that you hear and the quietest sound could be of your breath. Begin to draw your awareness to your sense of smell. Noticing how the air tickles and filters in through your nose. You might even draw your awareness into your mouth, finding residual tastes, sensations that are here for you. And place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a full big breath in. Audible exhale out. Your breath is a way to start to invite in so much more than just oxygen in your lungs. So we'll take this time for us to really be fully within our breath. One more time, full breath in, simultaneously adding all of those senses together, your sense of sight, hearing, smell, even touch here in the body, and taste in your mouth. Let yourself be with it. And take one more big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth. Let the air out. Good. Slowly take a big breath in. Open your eyes. And we will land here this afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We have a little introduction. So first, I'm Nicole Fuller, a personal development coach and breathwork facilitator. And I'd like to introduce you to Gayle.
Hello, I'm health coach Gayle, and my company is Y Powered Health Coaching, and I also do fitness training. And sorry, I distracted. Someone I invited just texted me that she can't get in, so I'm gonna pay attention to that for a moment and send her the Zoom link directly. So apologies.
No apologies. And know that I'm Nicole Fuller. My businesses full of peak performance, and my goal is to empower people to help reclaim themselves through health, relationships, and career. And breath is one of those big parts. So, what do we know about breath? So, let's begin here. Elijah and Ashley, are you still on camera? Okay. So, what do you know about breath? So, what comes to mind?
Respiratory mechanics, inhaling and exhaling. There's different amounts of air.
Okay, there's different amounts of air and there's different mechanics.
Yeah. Your respiratory system can be voluntary or involuntary, which is a really beautiful thing.
This is so true. Gayle, what do you know about breath?
Well, I'm learning so much more partnering with you, but I was surprised. Asked uh, Google about it and learned that we breathe between 17 and 30,000 times a day, um, depending on how shallow or deep we were breathing. And that was astounding to me. That we could do something so many times in one day and just sort of be unconscious about it most of the time. So I do notice shallow breathing in myself, and so I'm very attuned to that state.
And I'm gonna just take all these ideas, right? There's so much involuntary and voluntary ways of thinking about breathing, right? We consciously or unconsciously rather are breathing and may not even know how we're breathing. So it's a great way to kind of tap into our awareness. And I want to show you this image, and both all of us have had some little bit of connection with science, and that's really beautiful. So I want you to acknowledge this part of our lungs, the bronchi, and within it, right, we understand that while we're breathing all the time, we're breathing in oxygen, we're also expelling CO2, carbon dioxide. And this is really powerful because you need CO2 in the body in order to actually uptake more oxygen. And what happens is when we start to breathe shallow, we start to lose that combination. So I want to give you one more visual here. And this is a very heightened version of what's happening inside our cells. So if you get lost in the image, don't worry. The biggest part I want you to focus on is here. So as we start to find this uptake in oxygen that's attaching to our red blood cells, we have to have this process, aerobic process, to help the CO2 leave our body. And we need this oxygen more in our body to help expand our lung capacity. So we're going to do a test here to help you see what is your CO2 tolerance. So we're every day, raise your hand if you experience stress. Okay, so me too. And it's part of our life. And a lot of stress actually, it happens when we are in a CO2, so carbon dioxide high state. So we want to see and understand our ability to how well we are exhaling to help us understand how well we're breathing. So this is a nice little assessment to help you and your body. So let's do this together. So take a full big breath in. Audible exhale out. And we'll take 3 breaths together. Full inhale in. Big exhale out. 2 more. Inhaling fully. Breathe up, up, up. Deep exhale out. Now here's a change. Full big breath in. Pause at the top. And slowly exhale out. You're on a timer. So begin to make it nice and slow as possible. Don't panic, don't pause. Keep going, keep going. I see it. You'll start to feel this air hunger in your body. Just recognize what's happening. Yeah, keep going. See what you can do. And then pause. Oh, when you get to a place, here's where you can start to see. So I saw many of us at 40 seconds start to lose it. So right here, you can see what your ability to exhale starts to demonstrate your ability of CO2 tolerance in your body. So this is allows you to understand the amount of stress you're able to uphold in our entire capacity of our respiratory system. We need a good balance of stress and calm and relaxation to help us to continue to expand our lung capacity. For example, the importance of running or walking gets us out and moving, and this helps to start to move our lungs, the air through our lungs to help us build this capacity to breathe a little bit more. So this is a nice test. So you can start a timer on your own next time after I send you these slides, and you can try this to see where's your range to help you get a clear baseline of where you're at. Okay, and how many of us felt like we could went a little bit longer? Do you feel like you're more advanced? Does anyone feel like they're like at least intermediate? Yeah. So yeah. So try this on your own. So 3 inhales, and then as you have your last inhale, start that timer and see how long you start to exhale out, and you'll be surprised. I've been a runner a long time, and this still surprises me every time.
Sorry, Nicole, when do you start the timer? When after you finished and you're at the top and you make that
Yep.
pause?
Yep.
Okay.
When you're on that last top part of your inhale. Yep. And then as soon as you start that exhale, you start that timer. And we'll make sure to send you these slides so you can have that directions too. So another word in breath is called pranayama. Have you heard of pranayama? Sort of. As a yoga instructor, I want to share with it. It's really powerful that we understand that breath is not only a scientific part of life, right? But there's also an energy behind it. So prana means energy and yama means this control. So we actually have the ability to control the power of our mind through our breath, which is helps us come back to this conscious part of us to find more awareness in our body. So as we start to move into breath more, we'll start to look at different ways that breath impacts us. So I want you to take a moment here and ask and tell me, what do you notice?
Posture.
Yeah. Okay. So different postures and anything that about them that is specific to you.
Well, I'm noticing that the difference between the images on the left and the right tend to happen for a lot of people just over time with age. It's definitely something to be aware of because it can impact your ability to breathe.
Our posture is one of the top identifications or factors that influence our breath. And so this is really powerful for us to land in our body. Does anyone see parts of the body that it impacts the most?
Maybe your lower back.
Yep.
Or your neck.
Yep. So I want to just identify and show you, right? So here in this attack pose, a lot of the breath here is focused right on the chest. So those who might have a hard time breathing in their belly, right, will just breathe more likely in their chest, and there's a little bit more stress here at the neck. When people who become into like a freeze mode, when they lose actually most of their sense of breath here in their chest and their diaphragm because they're so tense in their body. So most of the tension is here in their neck. In a protection form, right, we see that there's a lot more breathing here happening in the belly, but not so much here in the chest. So the breath is stalling and finding, and then the tension here is all the way from the back line of our body into our hips and our low back. And then we all have seen this before, like tech neck, right? Everyone that's on different screens and devices, right? Will start to find breath that doesn't align all the way through their body and have a lot more tension on your neck. So it's really powerful that we improve our posture to help us find more opening in our breath. So most people don't breathe properly to chronic stress and anxiety. So when people tend to have more stress, we breathe more shallow. And actually, I want to go back and I'll show you that. So, right. So you can see the breath is more shallow here, just right at the chest on these like three. So the upper chest has just has a lot more pressure, and that creates this poor cycle of breathing. Any slouching, right, or times when our alignment in our anatomy, even in our joints, are not there, then we start to find a different restriction of breathing. Other habits that we'll look at include airways and blockages and allergies. So depending on what's happening in our nose and in our body, right, we start to find these physical factors really implicating our breath, even obesity, low fitness levels, right? Not conditioning our entire body is a big place of not having good breath and good breath mechanics. Other things like asthma and COPD or heart problems, right, can lead to poor breath too. So you want to be really mindful of all of these things. And then here's a really good example, right? So over time, if we don't learn to breathe properly and we have all these factors that are including stress on top of us, right, we'll start to change our ability to breathe just because of our posture. One of the things that I want you to notice here, so take a moment and I want you to share with me, what do you see between the nose breather and the mouth breather?
The posture change.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, posture change, right? More forward leaning.
And I'm sorry, I do have a question on the previous slide. It showed sort of attack, different postures, but I didn't see the virtuous postures. I was wondering if that was something we could see at some point.
Oh, yes, you'll get to see all of those.
Thank you.
So, something I'm noticing on this one really interesting is the just the chin, the receding chin, how breathing through the mouth could change your facial structure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's two pathways when we start to breathe, our nose and our mouth. And when we're younger, if we don't start to breathe through our nose, our mouth, the tongue palate will actually change and it will recede the chin forward, causing more of the entire structure of our body to change, and this allows us to not breathe well. We're all not children, but we have children in our life that we can start to help support them in this way. But even starting to change the way we breathe and noticing our breath in through our nose or our mouth makes a really big difference on how we start to receive the air. When air moves in through our nose, it becomes more filtered and moisturizes and changes how we breathe versus the mouth. So this is a big place of change to implement in our body. We know that the poor breathing is a vicious cycle, right? It starts with this baseline and then stress happens. We might reach for the breath or grasp for it. And this is what becomes more dysregulated because we'll start to feel dizzy or have brain fog or maybe get anxious, and then we'll want to look for that breath again. So having more good breath techniques is going to be really supportive to help you just break this bad habit. And then know that we've all had bad habits. It takes time and practice to help build that. Okay, take a moment here. I want you to notice this anatomy. This is really fascinating. So this is our deep fascia, what we call in the front line. What do you notice about it?
it skips the lungs.
Oh, the lungs are up here. They're just on the other side.
Well, I guess I'm responding to the blue that I
Oh,
see in
okay.
the skeleton on the left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The lungs are on the side, whereas the fascia is in the core.
Yeah.
Yep. So this blue part is our deep fascia, and it starts from the tongue all the way to your toes. So when you breathe, you're actually impacting not only the tongue, but all the way to your toes. So there is this deep fascia is really important because it's interacting with your entire body. So not only are we breathing from our lungs, we're actually breathing with our fascia. And our deep fascia is this thin layer that truly is connected on all of our different organs, but it's really important that we understand that breath is moving throughout our entire body and impacting so much of us, way more than we even notice. There are two parts to our breath, and I'm going to show you a video here in a second. There is the abdominal cavity here in this blue part, and our thoracic cavity here in this yellow place. And when we breathe, the different cavities start to change. So, for example, our thoracic cavity moves, changes shape and volume. So this is really powerful. So, yep. So our upper body, so our thoracic cavity, and you'll get to see this here in a second, right, is covered by our ribs and our intercostals and our intercostals, and those are different parts of our muscles that help us breathe. And then our abdominal is like a water balloon. It changes shape but not volume. So it's really important that we're using our entire body, or using our entire diaphragm and body to help breathe so we expand fully. So eyes up here, please. I want you to see this so you can get a full idea of what this looks like in the body. And let me know if you can see this.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so here is our entire thoracic cavities right here at the top, right above the diaphragm that is supporting our lungs and our heart. And then our abdominal cavity here is right below the diaphragm. So what's important about this is as our diaphragm as we breathe in, our diaphragm goes down and opens up we'll do it again. So as we breathe in, so it's breathing in here, our abdominal cavity goes down, it opens ourselves up to our breath. And as we breathe out, the entire diaphragm starts to enlarge and have the breath move through our body. So building up our breath helps us build our diaphragm, our muscles that are underneath our ribs. And that's really supportive to helping expand our lung capacity. So noticing what we did, there's a couple things that impact our breath. So healthy breathing, you want to have in through your nose. We want to breathe into our lower diaphragm. When you sleep, you want to make sure your mouth is closed. Does anyone notice if you sleep with your mouth open?
Mhm.
I notice I do.
I think it happens to me occasionally, and I always know because I'll wake up and my mouth feels really dry. That's a pretty good sign.
So something to help support that is mouth tape. And this is really powerful to help focus all of your attention onto your nose. And I'll include a link so you can have that. And then we want to include slower, deeper breaths. When we have poor breathing, we hyperventilate. So that means that we just take shallower breaths through our chest. So there's more through our chest rather than our full capacity of our entire body. And this is really supportive for us. Okay, so how do you breathe properly? these big ways. So breathe through your nose, not your mouth. Add good posture. So standing up straight is going to make a big difference, right? Having more of your entire body aligned, shoulders back, hips down, right? And you can breathe, right? And it's important to notice if your posture, what your posture is at work. So finding this awareness of your posture, adding exercise, yoga, and mindfulness breathing techniques that we'll show you here in a second. Slowing down and then holding your breath occasionally can help build that CO2 capacity. And then small tweaks in our life, right, make a big impact. So let's do a few together. So wherever you're at, you can be seated, you can be lying down like this, or right, you can be standing. We'll start with some diaphragmatic belly breathing. So right away, place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and we're going to get really connected to our entire breath throughout our being. So right away, find yourself into a seat that feels really comforting. So if you're grounded, right, can you let your hip bones press deeply into the floor? Can you invite in this space for more expansion through your chest? And then one hand on heart, one hand on belly. Take a big breath in through your nose. Breathe in your belly, your ribs, chest, throat, face. Exhale, face, throat, chest, ribs, belly. Just like that. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, throat, face. Exhale, face, throat, chest, ribs, belly. Continue just like that. Noticing, does your belly balloon out, feeling that expansion not only at the front, but at the sides of your ribs and your back of the ribs, letting it flow all the way to your chest and finding that softness. So soften your shoulders, your collarbones, your jaw as you let the breath out all the way from your hair at the crown of your head. Let's take 3 more just like that. Breathing in, letting go. We hold a lot of tension here in our chest and our shoulders, and it's important for us to find that softness, that relaxation as well. So take one more time on your own. Breathe in your belly, ribs, chest, throat, face. Exhale, face, throat, chest, ribs, belly. One more time on your own, finding your awareness from your belly and let it fully widen your girth of your belly all the way to the back of your heart, the back of your intercostals, underneath your ribs, the back of your chest. Fill up, keep going even more, even more. Let it come to the top. Full exhale, let yourself release into you. Notice your heartbeat. Notice your breath here right at your belly. How did that feel? What did you notice? Begin to open your eyes.
It's interesting as I was breathing, you could feel like the different areas of tension resisting the deep breathing, and like the more I breathe, the more they relax.
Mm. Yeah, the more you can start to breathe into it, you can find your whole body start to find that softening. It's fascinating because your diaphragm is in the center of your body, and we can actually use our mind to direct the breath. So we can direct it to the belly, even though it's only filling our lungs. We can let that full expansion find our entire body and its full capacity. Yeah, what else did we notice?
It really calls out to me how shallow I tend to breathe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed feeling my ribs and like just being attuned to those specific organs. with the inhale and exhale.
There's so much of our time that we don't take a full breath. And the power of that is getting connected. And I really like so your hands, so show me your hands. They are an extension of your heart. And so when you put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, you can invite in, right, that feeling, that is feedback from your own body to help expand even more. So as you breathe in your belly, feel in that feedback from your hand all the way up to your heart. And then it's a reconnection. So coming back to you. So don't miss that, right? It's easy to put our hand on different parts of our body, but to let it to be a place of feedback for you is really, really powerful. And it helps create that awareness. What do you think are the benefits of this breath after experiencing it in your body? How did it make you feel?
Calmer.
Calmer. So this breath not only strengthens the diaphragm, so it starts to strengthen your entire cavity, but it helps decrease this the slowing of the breath, right? So it helps us calm down. It decreases our demand for oxygen because we're just taking in so much more that it helps us find that sense of calm, releases anxiety, and then we just have this less effort and energy to breathe. All right, let's move into our second technique. So it's called box breathing. Have you ever heard of box breathing?
No.
Yeah. What do you know about box breathing?
The Navy SEALs do box breathing.
Yeah. Why do the Navy SEALs do box breathing?
It helps reduce their anxiety.
It helps reduce their anxiety
Mhm.
to help them find a state of calm before they're in action. And it's also a way to help tap into our parasympathetic nervous system. This is a part of our nervous system that helps us find a sense of relaxation and when stress comes our way. So the pattern goes like this. If you want to look at this box, you can. So we'll breathe in for a count of 4. We'll hold for a count of 4. Breathe out for a count of 4, and then hold. So just inviting in this space here is going to change the way our breath starts to manipulate. So we'll do this together. So begin to close your eyes. Inhale through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. It's in for 4. Hold. 4. Exhale. 4. Hold. 4. Continue on your own, breathing in for 4. Holding for 4. Exhaling for 4 and holding again. Focus on your breath. Take one more round on your own. On your own time and your own space, come back to your natural rhythm of your breath. Good. Slowly open your eyes when you're ready. We'll take one more round on our own. This time I want you to notice your physical body. So breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften your shoulders. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your jaw. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here. Big breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Let go. How did that feel? What did you notice in your body?
My eyes were watering.
Yeah, when we start to hold, right, we can feel that pressure.
My eyes were watering.
I noticed that the in breath and the out and the exhale seemed like they were, I expected them to be balanced, but they seemed really off in capacity. Like I might be taking in a whole lot more, but then not as much coming out, or the opposite. So that was something I'd certainly never noticed before doing that. But maybe it just takes practice.
I think the hold like makes me more aware of my, yeah, how much I'm breathing in, how much I'm breathing out. Because I naturally want to breathe in and immediately breathe it out. But when I have to hold it, it makes me think I'm like, oh, I gotta finish exhaling so I can hold it, and then take a breath in. Like, um, yeah, really draws my attention to how much I'm breathing. Kind of like what Gail just said. Yeah.
Like interactive breathing.
This breath pattern is important because it has this pause that does bring that extra pressure in your body, right? So you're holding more of that capacity, and the benefit of this is it starts to help you cope with that panic, right? So as we breathe in, we start to build up a little bit more CO2 in our body, and that can feel like tension. And I heard you say that your eyes start to tear up. Yeah, that might be how stress is manifesting in your body. And so you can feel that pressure. Um, and at the same time, like you said, it helps you focus. So it has this opportunity to help you refocus like a mantra or a word that you repeat often. It can help you come back to your breath as an anchor. Many times when people have a hard time breathing is they forget to focus on the breath. And so just like a dog on a chain or a dog on a leash, we can use this pattern to help us come back to ourselves and our body. This helps with sleep and helping us decrease cortisol, which is a big stress hormone that improves our mood and our body. The This pattern also has 2 sets of holds, right? So it starts to build up more of that capacity of our lungs as well. So it is bringing in this ability to soften and relax, even in this state of, of overwhelm or stress that comes up for us. And this is always nice for when you have a foggy brain, you're having a hard time thinking or processing or making decisions. You can use box breathing to help come back to your breath and come back to the decisions you need to make. Okay, we have one more breath technique that we'll do together. It's called 4-7-8 breath. So we'll inhale for a count of 4. We'll hold for a set of 8, and then we'll exhale for 8. So adding on to this hold, it'll be a little bit longer than we did before. So find that comfortable seat. Come back to your breath and close your eyes, right, to help you go inward. Our eyes are a distraction. And when we look at everything all around us, we stop to focus on what we need is our breath. So together, inhale through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 7. Exhale 8. Inhale 4. Hold 7. Exhale 8. Continue on your own. 3 more rounds. Notice where you're holding resistance in your body. Can you allow yourself to slow down the breath, letting your shoulders relax? We'll take one more round together. Good. Take a big breath in. Audible exhale out. Empty the air out of your lungs completely. One more time. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth. Set the breath free. Okay, one more time, just like that. Full breath in. Big breath out. Slowly open your eyes. Come back to this moment. How did that feel? What did you notice?
It felt really easy to me, that pattern.
Definitely brought me into the moment.
Mm. Yeah, this is one of my favorite breaths techniques. Anyone else want to share anything that you felt or what you noticed? What do you think are the benefits of this breath? After experiencing it in your body, what do you think it helps support?
Feeds the brain.
Yeah, definitely. So this one is all about calming. So it helps distract your racing mind and starts to decrease your heart rate. So notice we're taking that hold again, but it's a little bit longer, and that helps us start to have this suspension at the top of our breath, and that'll help us start to support ourselves for sleep, for reducing anxiety. And if this is my favorite breath for like an emergency, if I like really need to get into a state of calm, I use 4-7-8. It's also one of my favorite breaths for going to bed at night to help just allow yourself to really relax. I want you to notice too, the exhale is double than the inhale, and that's supportive because that helps to find that parasympathetic nervous system again and help move yourself into relaxing even longer. So if you felt a state of calm, that's where you want to be. So our aim of breathing, what do you think are the benefits of breath awareness? So the reason why we do this.
Decrease stress and relaxation.
Okay, decrease stress, relaxation.
It really connects you to your whole body.
Yeah.
We're in our heads so much of the time, and it's easy to become disassociated unless there's some kind of pain or something going on. So it really strengthens that mind-body connection.
So much of life is pulling at us, right? All of our surroundings, the external environment, even the people, right, in our lives, at work, at home, our kids, the distractions outside, the cars moving, the hospitals, the helicopters, right? We're constantly stimulated by the outside world. And this breath awareness, right, truly is the biggest part of finding awareness within our entire body. The more we are aware of our breath, the more we can use our full lung capacity to not only breathe properly, but have a better reconnection to our life, right? Right. We are able to really land into what is happening for us and how do we want to move intuitively, right? We're not seeking for answers outside of us, but we're coming back to our breath, a place of support, a place that helps us make better decisions because we're at a state of calm and a state of reconnection. And this also helps us create space. So when life gets really challenging, we can create a moment here just for us to land in our truth and land in what we need, right, for that moment. So not only is breath supporting our physical lung capacity, but it's truly starting to change the composition of our brain and how we want to make decisions in life for not only for ourselves, but for other people. So the biggest benefits of breath awareness, number one is improving that breath capacity. It's relaxing the nervous system by activating this part of us that wants to rest. And I'm not sure about you, but I find that it takes effort to slow down. And using the breath is a great way to just come back to you because it's so much easier to keep going. So we can give ourselves that permission to slow down and find that sense of calm. It helps improve our attention, our focus, and reduce anxiety levels. So what are the 3 best steps for better breathing? It starts, 1, with awareness. So just observing your breath, just noticing that your breath is here. Noticing if you're holding, right? When are you holding the breath? That could be a place where there is stress or external forces being placed on you. So this helps you understand where your anxiety, where your overwhelm is. the different tension. So during this practice, it gave us a lot of times to reconnect back to our body while we're breathing, because oftentimes we'll breathe, but we'll still be tense. So we want to still notice like what is causing us these tense moments in our body, and just building that awareness. So not even breathing, but just thinking about the breath is the step one, right? Is just noticing your breath. And you can practice that 2 to 3 times a day to help you start to recognize, right? How are you breathing? The second step is foundational building. So practice breathing in different ways. So many of us were seated today, but you can practice lying on your back. You can practice breathing on a walk. You can practice breathing when you're on the side, right? If you're pregnant, that could be really supportive, or if you just need a moment to start to use your right and your left lung, right? You can use both sides of your body to start to find breath. You can practice breathing with movement, right? So if you're doing yoga, if you're finding movement outside or doing different daily tasks, just recognizing, are you breathing when you're doing them? The last part is making sure this is foundational, making sure this foundational building is coming together as this integration. So as you continue to notice your awareness, can you notice your awareness in challenging activities? So if you're lifting or carrying something, can you notice how your breath is? If you're cleaning the floor, if you're wiping the bathroom, what's happening with your breath? If you're at work, right? Can you recognize what is happening to your breath? And then if you're exercising or finding movement, right, can come back to your awareness of your breath to help you start to regulate it a little bit more. The biggest part of breath is coming back to us and finding this moment for us to observe and make better choices for ourselves and our life. Um, any other questions? Any questions?
Nicole, I'm curious because so many people these days use CPAP machines for to improve their breathing at night. Um, I'm just curious about how that impacts all of these things. I mean, obviously, it helps people feel better because they're getting better sleep, but I don't know. It's just something that I'm wondering about if it like changes breathing, during the day or.
Yeah, breathing at night is a little bit more challenging for most people. And so those CPAP machines are really powerful because it starts to bridge good, right, full lung capacity as well as full oxygenated red blood cells into your body. So it's important. I do believe after research that that we can start to train our body, right? So that when you're older, you don't have to use the CPAP machine. But there is a lot of impact for people who have asthma, for people who um, has health complications. Yeah, please share, Ashley, Elijah. I know you have evidence.
There are different types of sleep apnea. You have central sleep apnea, and that is in your hypothalamus in your brain. And that stimulates you to be apneic, as in like pause and not breathe. And then you also have obstructive sleep apnea, where your tongue can actually obstruct your epiglottis and airway, causing you to not breathe. So there's two different types of sleep apnea. And with CPAP, you have continuous positive airway pressure. Well, what does that mean? That means that you constantly have oxygenation and ventilation going continuously, because they are patients who have these sleep apneas have usually a diagnosis for this apnea. So I would say CPAPs are highly effective, and they prevent any right-sided heart failure as well.
And a lot of that sleep apnea too is comes back to the palate of your mouth. So like we started in the beginning, right? How your palate is shaped changes how you breathe. So if you go to a dentist, like our dentist shared with my husband that he had sleep apnea by looking at the palate of his mouth because how it was shaped was causing him restriction to breath. So there is a lot of really supportive evidence for CPAP and then just recognizing what your anatomy is too.
Yeah, I have personal experience with this. I used to snore, and when I went to my dentist and told them that, they said, okay, well, let's look at your mouth. And they looked at my palate and they can actually grade um, the way that the palate is shaped with my throat so that they can say, okay, is there a great opening at the back? Is there not? Um, and just by visualizing it. So, yeah, it's kind of surprising for me, having been an athlete my whole life, that um, in spite of that, I struggled with a yeah, an airway um, challenge where my body does not breathe through my throat the way it needs to at night. And like I used to have an app that would track my snoring and it would record whenever he was snoring. And I got an appliance that pushes my jaw forward to essentially, like you guys were talking about. I'm really curious about what you guys are talking about, and I've heard of this sleep training where you can train the muscles in your palate to hold your airway open at night. I've heard of this. Really curious about it, but this device essentially does the same thing, um, which maybe that's cheating. But my sleep score as far as snoring went from significant to essentially zero. And I t tested it over weeks and it was very improved. And now she gets to sleep better because I'm no longer making noise. So that's helpful. Um, and yeah, yeah, but I'm really curious. I think it'd be awesome if we could develop like physical therapy for your throat that would allow you to breathe better and allow you to sleep better. That'd be really cool. There'd be a lot of people that could benefit from that, definitely.
And I wonder if when you were a child, whether you were breathing from your nose or your mouth when you were sleeping and how much that impacted you.
Yeah, the allergy thing, that hits home. I struggled with allergies my whole childhood, so that probably played a part.
Yeah, right. So there's all these complications already. Hmm. And for those that don't know, Elijah and Ashley are, Elijah is a cardiac ER nurse. Did I get that right?
I'm doing pediatrics.
Oh, pediatric, sorry,
I'm
pediatric.
working with children, so that's what I do now in the ER.
And Ashley is a nurse anesthesiologist practitioner in school, student practitioner.
Yeah, I'm in grad school for anesthesia. Student registered nurse anesthetist.
So we can use their evidence and feedback to be supportive for us too.
There's a book called Breath. I forget which researcher it is by, but it is by an MD, and he goes over like the benefits of mouth taping.
Yes, James Nestor. So Breath by James Nestor. So we can include that in our resources too. And then I just want to highlight too, there's this really neat resource called My Breathing IQ. And many times we breathe vertically. So we breathe vertically. And some of us don't breathe horizontally, or we breathe both vertically and horizontally. So it's a resource that you'll get a chance to understand your breath a little bit more, and it'll give you some feedback on how to support you. So thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, here's my email and our websites. So you're welcome to connect with us at any time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Nicole.
Thank you. Have the best day and appreciate all of your support. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for being
Thanks,
here.
Nicole.
Thank you, Gail.
Yeah.
Thank you much.
Guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye
Okay.
everybody.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.